Hi everybody, this is Dino Chris of Prehistoric Facts and Colossal Fossils. This is a Q&A episode, so let's actually get right to it, shall we? So, YouTube questions first. Luke Zilla. I know you actually put in a really long question on one of your comments, but I'm gonna not choose this one because it's too long for me to read, and so to do and answer this question. And so, the question that I'll be, the first question that I'm gonna answer for you is a male Giganotosaurus bigger than a female Giganotosaurus? That is undetermined. See, the thing is with a lot of fossils is that it's very hard to determine the gender of a dinosaur when all you have is just the bones. I mean, yeah, could fossils actually tell you about like different sizes of the animals? Yes, but in terms of gender, that is actually another story. That is so difficult to tell because paleontologists have a very difficult time trying to give a gender or sex to a prehistoric animal. Some mammals, we can actually determine which one's male and female. With dinosaurs, it's so difficult because when you look at birds, some birds actually do show characteristics in their skeleton to determine which one's male and female, but also there's not a lot to actually show there too, because sometimes birds just don't show some of those features on the bones, like those fleshy appendages that they actually have, those dewlaps or like stuff like that. And maybe sometimes those crests are just made of keratin and they just dissolve away when they're decomposing and becoming a fossil. That happens a lot, and so how do we determine size that is undetermined? But if I actually had to guess, how large theropod dinosaurs probably were like at the time, I would probably say that they're probably almost like reptilian birds in a way in terms of size. Is that the females are larger than the males, and if you actually look at that type of model, you actually will see is that the females are larger than the males. Because if you look at bald eagles, for example, the females are much larger, almost twice the size of the males, and that kind of shows. But also how you determine which one's male and female based on size is actually very difficult in paleontology, But I'm probably just I'm just making an educated guess here, and that's all I'm doing here. Is that I'm just basing it based on the reptilian birds of today. And then your next question come from in the Dilophosaurus episode that I did last week is why does Dilophosaurus in Jurassic Park spit venom and have a frill? Well, it's all based on Hollywood fantasy. And if you look at the Jurassic Park book, the Dilophosaurus is kind of almost the same way in that regard, but also Dilophosaurus is also a hybrid type of dinosaur. Because if you look at it in terms of the features, it's a hybrid. Because Dr. Henry Wu probably couldn't complete the DNA of that dinosaur just with a frog. So he actually added other types of DNA into the mix, like a frill-necked lizard and also a spitting cobra. Because spitting cobras are the only animals alive today that can actually shoot their venom from their fangs at a really great distance. There's no other animal that does that, and so that kind of shows that type of behavior. And so Dilophosaurus in real life would not have that, because would not have the frill and also spitting the venom that does not fossilize in the fossil record, in the rocks and all that sorts of stuff. So that's kind of the point there. And also, venom doesn't really fossilize. And venom is really, really hard to determine for an extinct animal. If there's extinct, snakes that were able to inject their venom, then those can be determined. But with dinosaurs, not a chance. Could there have been a venomous dinosaur? Probably, but that is still undetermined. But yeah, I think it's more the case that Jurassic Park actually kind of lived off of what the book actually did say, was that the Dilophosaurus was a hybrid, and so that's why it's. And also, the Dilophosaurus was way too small in the actual movie, because the actual size of Dilophosaurus can be 5 to 7 feet tall and 20 feet and over 20 feet long, and so that's pretty neat for an actual Dilophosaurus. So that Dilophosaurus in Jurassic Park is probably juvenile. And but when that Dilophosaurus episode actually came out, days later there was a paper about Dilophosaurus. How ironic is that? You know. So that's kind of funny. And to the Facebook question, Benjamin from Hong Kong. And so multiple questions here. Is Spinosaurus the biggest of all predatory dinosaurs? It's the biggest in terms of length and also height, if you want to count the sail. And so Spinosaurus would actually be the longest predatory dinosaur in terms of biggest, and also the tallest predatory dinosaur, if you want to count the sail. Weight, that is not going to be the case. Muscle mass and weight are actually going to be way totally different. So probably that one would actually go to Tyrannosaurus rex. And so Tyrannosaurus rex would actually go down as the heaviest of all the meat-eating dinosaurs. And does Styracosaurus have the best defense of all horned dinosaurs? That's a really hard question, but very good one. I'd probably say yes and no, because Styracosaurus does have that nose horn, and also it's got those horns all along the frill. But does it really have the best defense? That is remained to be determined. I would probably say Triceratops is a little bit better in terms of defense, but when you look at the frill, it probably has the best defense of the frill, most likely. But in terms of the facial pad, but like the rest of the face, probably not. But yeah, it's still one of the best defended defense ceratopsians. Are the jaws of Eutyrannus very powerful? That I don't know. There's not a lot of bite force studies that have been done on Eutyrannus. And who would win, Allosaurus or Albertosaurus? Ooh, that's a very good one. So Allosaurus, late Jurassic, and then you got Albertosaurus from the late Cretaceous period. Totally different theropods and different times, but they did live in North America. I would probably say, if you want to talk about power, I would probably go with Allosaurus on this one, because Allosaurus would actually have the muscles necessary to actually defeat, the muscle mass to defeat Albertosaurus. But in terms of speed, Albertosaurus would actually come across as the winner. But who would actually win this one? I'd probably give it a little bit more of an edge to Albertosaurus, because Albertosaurus would still have the bone-crushing jaws, whereas Allosaurus needed to try to slam its skull, like the upper teeth of the skull, the upper jaws, down on the Albertosaurus to make deep slashing wounds, whereas Albertosaurus has got a more powerful bite force, and so, but also Albertosaurus has got a much bigger brain than Allosaurus. So I'll go with Albertosaurus on this one. All right, that's it for now. And if you guys, next week would be an extra episode, and I'll let you guys know what kind of paleontology topic I will be talking about. So stay tuned for that. And you can still send me questions about dinosaurs or any other prehistoric life by emailing me at dinochris71@gmail.com, or just go to my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris. Like the page, you actually post your questions in the comments section. And also for YouTubers out there, feel free to like every video, subscribe to the channel, and stomp on that bell, and also put your questions in the comment section. I read them all, and you can get noticed on the YouTube on answering questions episode. And remember, keep your questions short to the point. You can also follow me on Twitter at CSGRAL. It's my Twitter page. I post pretty cool stuff on there. Also, take care of people around you. Also, for younger people out there, to make sure listening to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. So, best motivation you can have for good education. It's very important to have good education. With a good education, you get a good job in the future. All right, that's it for now. Now, see you guys next week.